All right, thanks for staying with us now. We see it a lot, right? Of African in a lot of African cultures, right? A man would rather give his brother the authority or the go ahead to command his wealth in the case of absence or death, as opposed his wife, because they believe that she is not blood. The woman is married into the family and always seen as an outsider. This has ruined a lot of relationship because people are not able to transcend beyond the blood relations. Most people would rather have businesses or lifelong commitments with their siblings, parents, cousins, as opposed their spouses. So a lot of African cultures believe that a man would rather give his brother the ability to control his wealth as opposed his wife. Now, a relationship by blood is also referred to as being related by consanguinity, right? A relationship by marriage is sometimes referred to as being related by affinity. A husband and a wife are related in the first degree by marriage. For other relationships by marriage, the degree of relationship is the same as the degree of underlying relationship by blood. Example, John and Steve are brothers and are therefore second degree relatives by blood. John's wife, Linda, is related to Stephen in the second degree by marriage. Now, blood relatives means mother, father, sister, brother, grandparents, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, and first cousins. Now, a lot of complexities come with the reality, kinship, and affinity, and the relationship between a spouse and a blood relative, right? So there's a lot of complexity that comes with all of those. So do you see your spouse as your blood relative? Now, please, that's the question today. Let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica with the hashtag Wishu. Like this already raising a hand.
Yes.
What happened?
You know, when they say the spirit is moving, I don't know how it happens, because the topic that we chose today wasn't what we were supposed to discuss.
I'm telling
and then it came up all of a sudden and we were like, okay, this may be a good one to talk about. And then also, I was the one that, I just want to put myself at the back. I was the one that told you the full quote.
The blood, yeah.
The blood, and so that people understand that it's not blood is thicker than water. It's the blood of the covenant agreement when you fear God is thicker than the water of the womb. Spouses get married. Husband and wife are never related by blood. Children are related to husband. Children are related to the mother. So it's very easy to say she's not my relative. But once you've joined forces with those offsprings,
the binding force.
The binding force is forever and eternity. In a funny situation today, somebody sends me a message. I don't have this person's number. I left my marriage in 2005. The divorce absolute came through in 2011. That's 11 years ago. Somebody finds my number and my husband has remarried, or my ex-husband has remarried and has kids. Someone sends me a message reporting him to me. Now, the way she went about it, or he, I don't even know who the person is. I didn't even think of the troubles we've had, or the fact that we don't even communicate. I told her, I'm going to give you fire for fire. If you go low, I'm going to go lower. Because I don't know what kind of pot you put on your head, that you did your research wrongly and you felt it was me you should report to, because I'm not his next of kin. But because he's the father of my children, what I'm supposed to do as his wife, I'm going to give it to you. And at the end of the day, I'm going to sue you for harassment. Because it didn't have to be me that you contacted, but the fact that you did, you're going to hear from a lawyer. So we've been calling each other all kinds of names. And me, I like banter. I thrive on such. Speaking English when I'm angry, it flows. So we're still at it. Now I'm saying that in this situation, I'm a relative, but I've been long gone. He's remarried. He has other kids. But the fact that he's the father of my children, I will forever be his relative.
So this thing you just said now, because if we bring back that quote that says blood is thicker, I told Omolola to specifically bring it so that we can have a meaning to that quote when they say blood is thicker than water. And I think they flashed the pictures when I was reading the script, right? It says the original meaning, right, for this. The origin says the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The meaning is that the family you choose, so it is a choice. The family you choose is stronger than the one that you were born into. So if you understand this concept, this principle, you would know that the moment you decided that you were going to walk down the aisle with a woman, or a man, you chose that person to say, I want you to become my partner. You chose it. That covenant, that relationship is supposed to be a lot more stronger than the one that, because it just happened by chance. Because you would have been anybody that you'd have been born into, but you chose that relationship. So how is it that people are not able to understand that dimension of it, and understand that because it is a choice, right? I must treat this person with so much love, respect, and everything that I would give, that I would not even be able to give my own sibling, but yet they still look at this person as an outsider. Norma, you want to come in, then I'll come to Gloria. Or Gloria, you want to come in?
So first, I even feel like the term is your spouse. Do you see your spouse as your blood relative, as still, for me personally, in my opinion, undervaluing the value of marriage, unionship? Because the Bible, I'm a Christian, so I always make reference to the Bible. The two shall become one. I feel like your husband is you, your wife is you. So you are one. So you're even above the aspect of relative. You are both one in that union.
So it has taken you to a higher dimension.
To a higher dimension. That's how I see it. So even comparing it to relative, I feel like, is that supposed to even be a comparison? So when this topic was shared, I had to first off go and see what people are saying about it, and I was really excited because I really wanted to know what do they think about this. So I noticed that people actually, the comments were really encouraging, because people were like, "What's this one saying?" So even the person that brought it to social media, it just gives me an idea of what is going on in that home. For a father to sit and advise his married son to say, and his son is saying, I'm beginning to see there is trouble in that union. That is what I see. And for the fact that this person is bringing it out and still trying to sell this idea to the public, shows how some people still think about the union of marriage. So.
It's interesting because, you see, but I always say that when you get married, you know, when I was a lot younger, getting married is almost like you marry and all of a sudden you are me, I am you. But you see, what I think I learned in the years of marriage, right, is that I think if we have this clarity that we are going into a relationship with somebody that, yes, we might have a fair idea of who they are, but we don't have totality of, you know, their person. And if you go into that marriage with that mindset, there is a chance that you will do a lot better. That somebody that just goes into the marriage and just believes that overnight, because we just exchange a vow and you say I do, you now talk your own, you say I do, all of a sudden the next day the person has become all of it, the mindset just switches. The next day you just feel like everything about you the person has just to know, and everything about me the person, I have to know about you and you have to know about me. It doesn't work that way. So I think that, yes, he might come across like he's trying to bring down the institution called marriage, but if you sit down to think through what he said, in my opinion, I feel like sometimes it is good that you grow into that union. Growing in the union, not in the sense of number of years, in the sense of bond and in the sense of understanding and knowing each other. A lot of people just expect rocket science to happen because a priest pronounced you husband and wife, you may now kiss your bride, and the two shall become one. It doesn't really work that way. You can actually be in a marriage for 30 years, 40 years, and never become one, and never know the real sense of who you are married to. But let me hear your thoughts, Norma.
It's interesting, the trajectory of the conversation so far. I want to first of all start with the question at hand, and it says, do you see your spouse as your blood relative? In factual sense of word, your spouse is not your blood relative. And if you go to dictionary meaning or whatever, you see that blood relationship is a tie that exists between individuals who are descended from the same person. And if you check it, they are not descended from the same person. It's actually his own name, but maybe if you check lineage or ancestral because we all came from one family. So if I want to take
So
it
they
from
say.
that, so they say. So if I want to take it from that, they maybe were. But in the real sense of the word, is the lineage, the that you came
The bloodline.
from. And as long as you didn't come from the same lineage, you are not blood relatives. But there are other ways that you can begin to embrace relationship. There's blood relationship. That's why you have brothers, because we came from the same lineage. So brothers and sisters, then cousins.
Same parents' blood.
Our parents are from the same bloodline and all
yeah.
of that. And then you have marriage relationships. You have friendship relationships. And there are friendship relationships, like I think I want to go to a scripture in the Bible that says there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Yep.
So there are friendship relationships that become like a brotherhood, right? Or a sisterhood, or whatever you call it. It almost like there's a bond that is formed. And that's why some bonds are not necessarily formed just by blood.
Definitely.
They are covenants. And that's where
cultism comes in, and that's why it's so strong.
You know, that's
when
where
people
things
start
like
making
that
oaths
come in. So
with one another.
it's powerful because there's a bond. It may not be a blood, it may be a blood covenant, but it may be a word covenant. So in cases of marriage, and then maybe sealed in relations with the man and his wife. So that opening, that's why some cultures even celebrate when the woman is a virgin, they bring out the cloth to say there has been a breaking.
And there has been a
penetration, there's a fusion of the two of them. Right? So in that sense of the word, maybe the man, so with that background or introduction, maybe the man is correct that his wife
is not his relative.
His relative.
Scientifically, she's
but
not.
if you check it, then again, I loved when we all mentioned the fact that relationships and bonds, like we've established, is a choice. That's why sometimes even family members do not necessarily need to
relate
because yes,
you didn't choose
because you have chosen that even though we are connected by blood, but it's a choice that I've made. Maybe the person that you are, the makeup of who you are does not resonate with who I am today. And I do not, and it doesn't represent where I'm going. So I decide to sever that relationship.
How severe
Or if it's a friendship relationship, when you realize that this bond is no longer what it used to be, and then you move on. If it's a family or it's a marriage relationship, that's why people, when they say irreconcilable
differences,
so they come and they say we can no longer agree. Even the Bible said, can two work together except they agreed? If we are not agreeing anymore, then at this point we can move on with our lives. So with that, the man himself knows what he has seen. Because there's the story that we hear,
and there's
the one that the man will say.
There's the one
that the wife will say,
and the truth in between.
On that note,
we take a break and come back to live.
I want to open our phone line. Stay with us. All right, so thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and our focus today is the topic: do you see your spouse as your blood relative? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at WadeShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WadeShow. Now, our phone line is now open. The number to call is 0702500749. Remember the rules. Please turn off the volume of your television set or whatever device you're listening in with so we can hear ourselves or watching us from. All right, so, I mean, Norma, we're having a fantastic conversation. I actually like the flow of the show. I will come to you, you know. And I want to really harp on that part that, you see, when you chose a spouse, you chose either a husband or a wife. And so if you understand, because I've had friends that, you know, they can do no wrong in front of me. Like, because I've just,
It's a choice.
Yeah. Right? So if you have chosen that this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, right, I would expect that you should also give that person some level of comfort that we are in this together. So yes, he is 100% correct saying that she's not his blood relative, but I like where Gloria took it. She's actually something a lot higher, something a lot greater than a blood relative, right? Because when you choose that covenant, that's why you see cultism and all of those things, those bonds are stronger than family bond, right? Because those ones are the things that you walk with your two clear eyes. You entered and said, you know what, I want to be part of this. And that's what that marriage relationship is supposed to be. You don't have a choice. You must love your children. You don't have a choice. You must love your siblings, or you must relate with your siblings because people are related. But when you pick someone from nowhere and say, you know what, I want to make you my husband, or I want to make you my wife, that is a choice, and that is supposed to be stronger. But let me come to you, Lady.
Come to you. First of all, I wanted to also remind us that the guy that said the statement said his father had always told him. The issue most people had on social media was the fact that his father probably trained him to have that feeling against
the wife,
and that there might have been an issue where the father felt his wife disappointed him or something. So he feels like that man said, Lori, Russia, you know, that kind of thing. In some cases, you have a spouse that is so secretive that by the time you discover the kind of human being they really are, you feel you've been living with an enemy all along. I think that statement can relate to such people. Like the women that build mansions or estates and their husband is renting house from them without realizing that she's the landlady. That is not a relative. Statements like that can relate to such people when you can't.
You see, my face is changing.
Stop twitching your nose. When you don't declare now, you're not acting like a relative. So something must have gone wrong for you to. Now, I'm not saying what justifies or the reason behind it, because the way I was treated, I could easily have done it. But the point I'm making is, when a relationship breaks up to the point where the communication isn't there, and you start acting like cohabitants, and this is my enemy, I have to plan for my future outside this marriage, then you could say such a statement and it will relate to them, whether justifiably or not. Siblings have training by the same parents, and they still get to an age where everybody decides, you're not my person, I don't like you, I don't want to be with you, whatever. So you can imagine the people that grew up in different families then come together and try to learn one another, each other, within a period of 1 year, 2 years. I think that's why people often talk about the 7 year each. When it gets to 7 years and what I'm learning, it's confusing me. And then the way couples also switch. Once it's marriage, someone that you thought you'd always known, understood enough to say I do to, when they now think they've gotten you as a wife or as a husband, they switch all of a sudden. Then you feel I'm living in a nightmare. And then again, you could be living in a dream. But the point I'm making is that you learn people all the time. And depending on what the relationship is like, you may grow apart to the point where I decide that you're not my relative. You can never be my next of kin. If anything happens to me, it has to go to my children because you've proven yourself not to be my person.
So I won't say that. Shouldn't marriages be treated like businesses?
No.
Wait now. Let me land.
I was waiting for her to ask
because if you are going into a business relationship, right, there are terms and conditions. You sign your MOUs and all of that. There's a clear memorandum of understanding. Everybody knows their job description. They know their job function. Everybody's on the same page. If you do this is what you get. If you don't do this is what you get. Because we've gotten to that stage where it seems like everybody has, because the truth is, in a relationship, everybody has a motive. The prayer you're going to pray is that I hope your motive means well for me. But everybody has a motive. I'm either marrying you because I feel like, or I feel like we build this way, or, so we have our own intentions. So when we treat marriage, for instance, as a business, do you see that it might get a lot better? Because part of what this guy was talking about was in line with businesses. He says he will not hand over his business to his wife. He would rather give it to a sibling because the wife is not she's not his business partner, she's not his relative, right? But if you understand that, okay, maybe if we have signed MOUs that these are your roles and responsibilities, would you not treat that relationship a lot different? than when the relationship, anything goes. Do you understand? Because in a business relationship, there are rules and regulations, there are do's and don'ts.
Yep.
If you do this, you get this. If you don't do this, you get. Do you understand? So do you see where I'm going to, Gloria?
Yes, I see where you're going to, but then again, I cannot separate, for me personally, the aspect of when it becomes a business, everything is by the books. It's more transactional. It's more artificial. There's that artificial feeling attached. That's what I'm saying. I can't help but, it's not natural. So it takes away the essence of. That's for me personally. I feel like
I can make it very natural.
So, but that does not still take away the fact there's still that understanding of saying, okay, the understanding of this is what you're bringing in. Let's have this agreement. Let's have this conversation. I feel like the aspect of relationship takes care of that. We understand ourselves to a higher degree anyways, because you can never really totally understand someone. Yeah. Yes, but to know that, okay, this is what I think you can bring into this relationship, this is what I bring, but to bring it by the books, let's write it, this is what we're going to do, it's so artificial, and I feel like it takes away that essence of that flowing, that vibe, the vibe in the relationship.
Carry on from
I think for marriage, it's important the mindset that you come into your relationship with. And if a business write-up will help you to come into it with a right mindset, then please, by all means, go ahead.
I will do that.
I will explain that. Business, if people thought about their marriages more of businesses, I think it will be more successful.
I think so.
Because the investments that they put into their businesses, if they put a fraction of that commitment to making their marriages work, trust me, you will understand. Where you are maybe the man is the CEO, the woman is the CFO, then they will have the operation officer.
Don't give me role of CFO. I will finish all your money in the shopping mall.
Whether CFO, no, it depends. You know your wife now. So if she's the one, maybe your first daughter can be CFO. Then the wife can be COO, Chief Operating Officer. Yes. But the truth of it is that you know each person's capacity and you know who is in the best. Each marriage knows who spends money and who holds money, right? So you will attach each person's responsibility accordingly. But it's not business transaction in the sense of the word. It's the mindset of a business. Because if you look at it and you look at your areas of strength, you know that's how you tend to understand yourselves, right? You know who has strength, you know who has weakness, you know who is capable of doing XYZ and the other. At the end of the day, you are both working to a particular goal and to achieve something. Whether it's in the number of children, I remember we writing down, so even down to mission statements. Yeah. If you have your mission, when somebody is going off track, you remind them, this was the mission statement.
Let's go back on track.
This was what this is the agreement at the end of the day. I think if we have that mindset towards building this thing called a marriage relationship, so that it's not in the case of when business or when you're about to die, and I remember, my wife is not part of my business.
By that time, the agreement has been signed.
But it's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Youngest old man, our first caller for the evening. Hello.
Hey, no, that's not Daniel.
Are you there?
I do. Now they hear me.
We hear you. Good evening.
As the youngest old man available, I can possibly tell you that marriage can be treated as business, but not in transactional terms. But it can be treated as business. Why? Because business has this essence of seriousness, but in transactional terms, it cannot work because there's a lot of things that goes into marriage, where you see the vulnerability and the strength and low strength of your partner. So the partnership in business is very fundamental. And anything that you take serious, you call it business, including school. When you take something serious, it's already your business. So for me, I like the idea of calling it a business, but not in transactional terms.
Uncle, we can just make it transactional. It's all right. Because as I am, like, it's true. Because you see, if you understand that, it's just like Nigeria now. We don't have why are we failing as a country? You know, we don't have a mission statement in Nigeria. We don't have a vision statement in Nigeria. We do not even have a clarity as to the direction of where we're going as a people. That's why there's a. That's why that anyhowness is happening in Nigeria. Anything just goes.
I'm not done. Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So you see, I know it's boiling. You know this marriage thing. They take attention. Everybody want to hear. But the issue is that I always like treat issues of marriage with caution, because people mostly you experience it better. It's something that you can't really explain in full details, because every department has its own challenges and every stage comes with its own challenge. I hope you guys are following my English, but I'm trying to explain what I have in heart and what I've experienced. I've told you before, I'm 19 years in marriage. I'll be 20 now, so they don't know where they go. So there's a lot of things that I've seen in marriage that sometimes I'll just put out in my head and say, why is nobody telling me? Nobody told me this. Why am I experiencing alone? Is anybody seeing what I'm seeing? But at the end of the day, if you come down and you understand that it's a general thing, but everybody is trying to manage it, and that is why that name business comes in again. You manage it, then from the underhand, you just have to it will take you like 3, 4, 5 years to study your spouse, because sometimes we come with hidden attitudes, some things that
absolutely
gradually, just like the Big Brother house.
Thank you.
Come before. Then later, you're going to see some things. It's not for you. So as it comes in, you keep it down.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You work on it.
Absolutely. And you see, that's the thing with businesses, you know. They say that with business, you try, it fails, you go back, you check what went wrong. And
you
all
make
that.
all the effort.
It's not, you know, when people hear certain things.
It's not far-fetched
Yes.
to think that idea would work.
Yes.
I'm interested in it now that you say it.
I did tell you.
You make all the effort.
We must put
Why
the
is
statement
it
down.
like
How many times we will have sex? Because that's
exactly
one
what
too
I'm
can be a
saying.
problem.
No, you can't. You know that one happens.
that one.
that one can be a problem.
No.
The women we have in our society.
Let me explain that.
Wait,
part.
let me
saying
finish.
everything by the
women we
business
have
right
in our
there.
society. It seems that there are certain things that it needed to have been put into contracts for them. If you don't give me sex 2-3 times a week, your first child cannot go to this second.
No.
Things like that would have.
No.
I'm speaking for the men. Una, do not bring headscarf to bed. That should be part of it. Do not use for 8. That should be part of the agreement. When I come home, only G-string. That should be part of the agreement. Things like that should be there. If we have,
do you wear G-string to the boardroom?
I don't even wear anything. That should be part of the agreement.
But the truth of it is,
I like when
these are
these are the things that
up.
break marriages up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I hear people say that, oh, my wife is not
cameraman
even
laughing.
interested. She's not even interested in bedroom matters. I'm wondering, hey,
but
so why are you in
it's
a
a
relationship?
conversation that needs to be
I'm
had.
saying that. So every aspect that would either make or mar that marriage has to be clearly addressed. Do not even think that anything is insignificant, because you see, it is all those things that you consider insignificant that's what is now amplified and eventually breaks up that marriage.
And if I may add, quickly, why is it that when it comes to other aspects of marriage, the woman it's okay for her to do everything, take care of the home, this and that, then when it comes to business, this is something that as a family unit you people have built together, and then all of a sudden you realize that at the time of your demise it should go to your siblings. If you decided, if marriage was what it was, I think Bible said that you will leave and then you will cleave.
Yes.
So that means that you have separated yourself to start a new unit, to form a new unit, and at the end of the day you should be able to give it everything, including all you come with.
Let's take Osaho from Benin. Osaho, you're welcome. That's a new name.
Yes.
Hi, go ahead, you're live.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening.
Nice voice.
Good evening. Osaho, hurry up, we don't have time.
Yes. Let me just quickly say that marriage, your spouse cannot be the idea about marriage is such that is stronger than blood relative. So, the first instance, marriage is highly spiritual. It's not just a coming together of anybody. The institution of marriage itself is more than blood relation or being a blood relation. So that's the first thing I see. The other thing is that the union of a man and a woman is more than what happens between a brother and a sister. In the sense that your brother can leave you for any reason. In the covenant of marriage, it is till death do you part. There are women who have labored with their husbands until death. Even when their friends, their relatives are telling them, oh, we are sorry, we can no longer do anything, but the wife is there. And vice versa in some cases. So I just want to say that the idea of non-relative marriage is more than that, and it should be given that respect. It should be given that attention because number one, it is spiritual, and number two, it is almost a life-for-life stuff because the relationship is stronger than blood.
Thank you so much.
There should be more Osahons.
Customs and tradition affect some of the things Osahon said. Because you say your brother can leave you, your wife should be the one to, like, the inheritance and all the businesses. A lot of men actually trust their women more to run the business than they do trust themselves. But some are so into custom and tradition that they feel that when they pass away, their family by blood should handle the responsibilities of...
let me tell you why that happens though. It's because they believe that she's a woman, another man will marry her.
And
that was what it used to be. But no longer.
Changed.
So another man will marry, so she will bear another man's name. So meaning that whatever it is that she has, like maybe properties or whatever, would go with her.
But what of your descendants?
But you've forgotten that there's children and all of that. But let's take comments quickly because we ran it out of time. Yeah. Let me start.
Okay. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? #ways. Do you see your spouse as your blood relative? The answer is a capital no. Sister Nyoma said it all. She made mention that it is only siblings that can be blood related because they are from the same lineage. Secondly, I don't know if I am right or wrong. You and your spouse can be blood related if there is a blood oath attached to it and there is a promise that no one should and must betray each other. It is just as simple as that. My name is Daniel Elo. He writes like a lecturer. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Go ahead.
Bobby here, Bobby Kennedy says, your wife is your everlasting partner. It's for better and for worse. Till death mar you apart. Okay. It's ordained from God. Any intruder from the family is a total stranger. I beg you. Remember, God created a woman from the man's rib. Adam and Eve as a case study.
Oh, correct. I like this one. Till death do your part. I'm gonna die with you here. But because the truth is that your brother will not be there for you till death do your part. At the end of the day, it is truly that spouse
wife
that will be with
spouse.
you. Yes. Let's go ahead.
So Austin from Delta says, really, I see this topic as controversial. First of all, the accountant among you there has mentioned the biblical angle, which must be recognized. Your wife should be the closest person to you as you eat meals served you without fear. But once in a toxic relationship, I have always said, don't die there, rather separate. I have a close friend who told me that he made the wife see his will because of the trust and closeness. Is this good? Yes. But I equally know a man who knew the wife was cheating on him, but decided to keep quiet to avoid being hurt or killed, but wrote his will and gave nothing to her. There are also other women who would quickly get remarried within few months upon demise of the man. Can you treat such woman nicely? I ask. But there are men that immediately
in the scheme of things. in the scheme of things, it is
So
the men that marry quickly.
it goes both ways.
Absolutely. But hey, I think we had a fantastic conversation. Glory, welcome back. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of you. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Lady. Thank you, Glory. All right, so if before we go, do follow us on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. That's where my madness comes out. Follow us on Way Show, Africa, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook as well. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, or most importantly, follow all the engagements on social media. Remember to always like and share our videos and our whatever. Just make comments. Just keep the page busy for us, okay? All right, so if you missed today's quote, here it is again. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. This was from the Bible. We'll see you guys live at 8 p.m. tomorrow as we bring another very, very great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.